Welcome to an episode of Conversations with a Hairdresser. I'm sitting today with Andrea B. She's one of the Algarve's most prominent artists. She has a very unique style. She also has a very colorful background, and she has done many different things with her life. She's been in finance, and now she's out here in the Algarve, and she's doing some amazing work. We're going to be showing some of her work in B Design over the next few months, and we would love you to have a look at it when you have some time. So, good morning, Andrea.
Hi, Brad. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you. So, tell me about yourself. If you describe yourself in 3 words, what would those 3 words be?
Oh, that's a curveball from the off. Critical thinker.
Critical thinker. Okay. That's always good for an artist.
I think my background is a bit of a juxtapose with what I do now.
Yeah.
So most people can't quite rationalise the fact that I come from finance and I work in the artistic, creative field. So how would you sum that up in one word? Enigma?
Enigma.
A critical thinking enigma.
Okay.
Oh, do I have to find another one?
No, you're good with that. That's
Great.
fine. Enigma is actually one of my favorite new words. Not obviously not a new word, but I've come back to it a while ago, and I'm loving it at the moment. I'm using it for everything. Most of my cooking is an enigma.
Oh, I don't cook. I think my son would say most of my cooking is an abomination.
An abomination.
Yeah, you can use that one next week.
Okay. So talking about finance, what did you do in the finance world?
Well, originally, actually, I started in the beauty therapy world.
Okay.
And realised that just was not for me.
Beauty therapy, massages, facials, waxing, nails.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just a complete departure from what I do now.
Okay.
But at the time, it was a way for me to leave home.
Okay.
So I wanted to leave home as quickly as I could, and to do that, I just latched onto the nearest course that was as far away from home as possible.
Okay.
And so I completed that, and then realised that was just not for me at all. And I kind of fell into finance.
Okay.
Because what had happened is I'd gone back to the college that I trained in to teach.
Beauty therapy?
Yeah, so I was actually teaching beauty therapy, and I was studying at the time, because at that time you could teach and study at the same time for those that were aged 16 and above.
Okay.
And it just so happened that there was an opening in a local estate agent for a mortgage broker.
Yeah.
And that then set me off on a very different path.
Of course.
So I did my qualifications, started working as a mortgage broker, did that for several years, then qualified as an IFA.
You speak to me like I'm a child.
Sorry.
What's an IFA?
An independent financial advisor.
Okay.
And then I left where I was living at the time, which was in Scarborough,
Okay.
and moved down south.
Okay, so Scarborough is the north of England, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Quite close to
York.
York.
Yeah, which is the most beautiful city. It's
Oh,
my favourite place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a friend that got married in York Minster last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's actually called York Minster, the church?
Minster.
Okay.
Yeah, York Minster.
Okay.
Stunning, beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful Minster. And everybody thought it was royalty or
Oh,
a star
really?
that was getting married there, so everybody was waiting outside when we came out, because they had the church bells ringing, which was
lovely.
lovely. It's a beautiful city.
Nice.
It's kept its charm.
Okay. Nice.
So yeah, I moved from Scarborough to Essex,
Okay.
and I established my own financial business in Essex. But I was actually specialising in equity release,
Okay.
which is quite a controversial area of financial services, because it's customers are mainly what would be classed as vulnerable because they're over a certain age. Although given the age is only 55, I like to think that that's not that vulnerable, because otherwise I would fall into that category.
We won't talk about that. That's all right.
Yeah, no, it's not vulnerable. I actually started doing quite a lot with the media, and so I was on different TV shows, Trevor McDonald, and in the press quite a lot, because I became a spokesperson for the industry.
Okay.
Possibly because I was one of the only females in the industry.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I did have a passion for the product, I have to say. And then I was asked by the Trade Association to apply to be its first Director General.
Oh, wow.
I'm going back quite a few years now. But there was a decision then to be made as to whether to continue in my business or whether to take the opportunity that they were offering.
What did you do?
I took the opportunity.
Did you?
Yeah, it was amazing. Actually, it was.
Okay.
It was hard work, very long hours. Did put a strain on the family. I had a teenage son at the time, and I was working in London, and a lot of it revolved around lobbying government, dealing with the media, but also having to wine and dine people. Yeah, so I spent a lot of time in London.
How did you juggle all of that? What was your typical day look like doing all of that?
Well, I was commuting, which is quite tiresome, but I got it down to a fine art where I could work while I was commuting.
Okay.
And then I would try and fit in some exercise. So I would get off at Liverpool Street and I'd walk to Victoria Street along Embankment, which was lovely because you're never walking along the Thames.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was nice. Depending on the weather, obviously.
Of course, yeah.
But that took me about an hour.
Okay.
So I could do my calls while I was doing that, and then I would be in the office, and then I would have to go out and meet and greet people, or I'd be in House of Westminster, dealing with MPs or dealing with the peers, or again, wine and dining journalists, or dealing with the members.
Okay.
But I was not customer focused at that point.
Okay.
It was more the other side. So more the lenders, the solicitors, etc.
Okay. And then what happened? Then there's a certain break where you decided to burn out.
Yeah, basically I burned out.
So it doesn't sound like there was a life-work balance there. It was, I would include my exercise in my work, so you were kind of full on all the time.
Yeah. I was trying to get that balance, but it was quite a stressful role.
I don't think those roles are ever very well balanced, though, are they?
No.
It has to be full on.
Yeah. And in 2008, when I'd literally just taken a job, there was the financial crash, which had a huge impact on the industry. And so I'd gone from a board of about 22 to a board of around 10.
Okay.
That's how many people that were leaving the industry.
Oh, wow.
So it was, it was stressful.
That's about 60% there,
Yeah. But then it's built up a lot since then.
Okay. So you burnt out, and how did you find the Algarve?
I got remarried. Well, I met my husband in the UK. We were married while we were out here. And it was his passion to move to Portugal, and I was just happy to leave England. I didn't care where it was.
Because you know the Algarve already, or was it
I'd been
all
before.
new for you?
I'd been once before to Albufeira about 15, 20 years previously.
Okay.
When it was actually quite different to what it is now.
Okay, it was sort of unspoiled, not so many hotels.
If you go to Algarve in the season now, it's a bit of a shock to the system. Although having originated from Blackpool, I feel quite at home there.
And how did you get into art? I mean, how did you start? Once you were out here, how did that journey begin for you?
Well, the journey for my artwork started before.
Okay.
And actually, it's something that I've always been interested in, but I started off in jewellery, so I trained to be a silversmith. Then I did what is called lamp work, which is melting glass over an oxygen and propane torch.
Oh, wow.
And you can create all sorts of different reactions and colours by using metals, the silvers, golds, etc. into the glass.
Okay.
And I was just fascinated by the mixture of the colours and the way they reacted.
Okay.
And that just set me on a path. I'm a bit of a magpie, so I like anything that's shiny.
Okay, nice. And a bit of a pyromaniac by the sound of things.
Yeah, I was a little bit, what's the word? I'm not quite understanding the health risks.
Okay.
So as I've understood more, learnt more, I realised,
oh really?
Took a few risks there.
Okay.
I do have a scar on my neck from
metal
glass.
sort of.
It was the glass. Yeah,
okay.
Sometimes it will just shatter.
Okay.
And then when it's molten, it just sticks to the skin. There's a
like
tiny
fun.
scar. It's a price worth paying.
Good lesson learned.
Yes. So health and safety is really important now.
Okay. And tell me a little bit about what you like to do.
So I'm not a traditional kind of artist that you'd think of, drawing, painting, figure work. That is just not my thing. And I'm not even a traditional mosaic artist, although recently I just got back from Italy, where I did train with some of the traditional grandmasters. Because I think it's important to get a background and a foundation, even if you're doing your own thing, because it's good to know what the basics are and what the traditional methods are. So andamento is one of the traditional methods, but that's like using stone, marble. I tend to gravitate towards glass, although I do like the juxtaposition of like slate and stone with sparkly things like glass. But a lot of my work is glass.
Glass. The magpie.
The magpie again. Yeah.
And what inspires you when you...
What inspires me? Anything can inspire me. Like the lichen on a tree can be inspiring, or you can just see something and you see a pattern in it. Because I tend to be more drawn towards colours and patterns rather than figures, or sometimes I use shapes as well. And I work with resin as well. So I kind of developed my own technique over the years, and I just like to see how it unfolds. So I might draft something out. I might see something, have an idea, draft it out, draw it out, think about it, sleep on it, and just eat, sleep, dream what I'm thinking of doing. And then I will see if I can get it to work, and then just introduce other bits. I do get a number of commissions, and I find that quite difficult compared to just being able to brain dump onto whatever substrate I'm using.
Why do you find that more difficult? Because
it's always in your mind what the customer wants, rather than thinking, oh, I think I might just take it in this direction and see what happens. To be fair, a lot of customers will just do the thing, but these are the colours that I want. But then I might be working with those colours and thinking, oh, I don't really like this.
Oh, really? Yeah?
But I have to stick to it because that's what they were looking for. Yeah. So my ideal is to just be able to do whatever I want, however I like, in the time frame that I want. Yeah, which is always difficult. That's
ideal for any artist.
Yeah.
But I guess the balance to commercializing that is really getting what the client wants included in your amazing work.
I established Kinter Art Collective a few years ago, just post-COVID, because there's quite a few artists in the Algarve. And where I live, there is a number of artists. We were friends before we created Kinter Art Collective. And I just thought, you know what, this is really quite lonely, because you're sat in your studio or wherever you do your thing, and you're on your own. It's very, well, my work in particular is very meditative, because a lot of it is quite repetitive, and so I can just get into that flow of repeating. So I have my creative process, and then I have the making process.
Of course.
And the making process,
technical part of it.
Yeah, the technical part can be quite repetitive, but I actually enjoy that bit. Anyway, so yeah, the five of us got together to create Kinter Art Collective. And we've been really overwhelmed with the support, actually.
Amazing.
Yeah, and you'll have seen a few other collectives that have popped up over the last year or so, which is great, because we all need to support each other. But we all do very, very different things. So when we exhibit, we've got everything from sculpture to fine art to fibre art to portraiture to glass. So amazing. It's an eclectic bunch of girls.
Eclectic collection. No? Collective.
Yeah.
Eclectic collective.
Yeah, I like that. It's an eclectic collective. Try saying that after a few drinks.
I will try that later.
I shall test you.
So who's in the Kinter Collective? You brought them together because it would be nice to work together and also help promote together, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it was to support each other. And we were supporting each other naturally as friends, and I just wanted to put it on a more formal footing because it gives us a bit of a USP. So when people want to come and see us, they're not just seeing one one genre of work.
Okay.
It goes across the board. So if somebody doesn't like my work, they may well like somebody else's work that's in the collective.
Which is nice to go somewhere to see some art and have a few different options to look at.
Exactly. So there's me, there's Jane Rodenberg, who launched Weave Deck a few years ago. She's the fiber artist. Okay. There's Twan Adams, who's currently in Mexico, but she's a sculptress. She's got her works all over the world. Okay. Beautiful, stunning, large metal sculptures. We've also collaborated. We've created dragonflies. So she's done the metal sculpture of the dragonfly with the wings, and then I filled the wings in with the glass.
Amazing.
Yeah. And then there's Jessica Dunn, who's quite famous in her own rights. And she's a fine art, and she works with oils, and she exhibits all over the world. And then there's Tracy Carson, who's also a yoga teacher here. She has a yoga retreat.
Oh wow, okay.
And her work is very modern, very fresh. And so the difference between all of us really works quite well.
Amazing. Sounds fantastic. And tell me a little bit about what you're going to put in the salon. Do you have an idea already of what you're going to show here for the clients?
The important thing for me is the light and how the light reflects off the work, because it's almost got a 3D quality, because I use quite a lot of mirror in my work, so you can actually look through.
Wow.
Yeah, so wherever the light is the best, then I will try and marry the piece to that particular position. Yeah.
Okay.
And as you know, I also do the busts.
Yes.
So I'm looking at putting.
I thought you were actually talking about the busts when you say you can see through them.
No.
Okay.
No, they're solid. Although I am working on one that you will potentially be able to see through. Okay. But I keep looking at it and thinking, I haven't got time for that yet. So it's on my list, but it might be later in the year. But no, but my work varies. So. And it looks different at different times of the day, and whether it's under artificial light or natural light, which it works differently under each kind of light. Okay. So my plan is to fill all your wall space, but there will be method behind my madness.
Okay. Well, we can't wait. We're very excited to see your art, and we're very excited to share this with as many people as we can.
Thank you.
I
appreciate your support, Patrick. Thank you.
You're welcome. We've seen your work already, and we're very excited to have it fill our walls and make our salon look even nicer. So thank you.
You're most welcome.